Are you contemplating starting an online resale business for Pokemon cards? Do you have a bunch of magic bulk laying around that you're not quite sure what to do with? I think in this video, what I would really like to do is to talk to everybody about sort of how I got started selling online, my resale side business here at Driftless Cards Games, but also providing advice to everybody on what I would do if I was starting over with absolutely no reputation at all. So with that said, what I would primarily focus on first is just getting started. And that sounds a little bit counterintuitive, it sounds a little bit obvious, but realistically, I think a lot of people, myself included, get into the analysis paralysis trap sometimes of wanting to do everything but not knowing where to start, or seeing the forest but not being able to see the trees, or vice versa. And what that means in this case, to me at least, was just getting started with what I had right then and now, and developing processes as I go. And for some people, that can be a little bit uncomfortable, but I think it's a good kind of uncomfortable. What that physically looked like for me was going through a lot of my bulk boxes, going through a lot of my duplicate boxes, and finding medium value singles that I could sell. Bulk EXs, lower end full arts, things that even if the entire process went south and the card was legitimately lost or I made a mistake, it would not be the end of the world for me to write that off, to refund that buyer. I'm not saying I wanted that to happen, nor did it happen, but that was at least my thought process. I wasn't going to start out seeking and selling a Moonbryon or some other kind of, extremely high value card and setting the stakes that high right out the gate, but starting with what you already have that you might potentially be comfortable enough losing. And again, I'm not saying you're going to lose everything, but at least if one or two here and again you should happen to screw up or goof up, it's okay. It's not going to cause you stress and sweat. It's not going to make you lose sleep at night. You can move past it. The other benefit to starting with what you already have is generally, well, it's yours. So you're not going to be worried about sourcing and the risk of buying something from somebody at a lesser condition grade, or from a less than cared for home full of smoke and kids and goo and pets and parents who write their kids' names on the back of the card in Sharpie and don't disclose that when they're selling to you. It's not any of those risks when it's your duplicates to begin with. Typically that also kind of solves the problem that people have of, gosh, I've got all these boxes, I've got all this product, and I don't know exactly what to do with it. I'm holding on to it because I know, as a collector, I know that it has some value, but it's unrealized until you actually sell it and actually list it. You're not seeing any of that value. You're just seeing a number on a page that has not been realized yet. So once again, starting with what you already have, I would argue, is the best, most reliable, safest way to dip your toe in the pool. There's also something of a benefit there that you probably already have a lot of the basic supplies that are needed. Now, I've got another video. I'm happy to go into greater detail on exactly what supplies I use at scale, but as I'm saying here, you have a couple envelopes laying around at home. You have some top loaders laying around at home. You don't need to jump in too deep and buy a significant quantity of envelopes or a significant quantity of return address labels or things like that when you don't necessarily know if that's right for you just quite yet. So as I was alluding to a little bit there, the second benefit really that occurs to me to start with what you have is that it allows you in a much safer environment to build up your own processes. If you jump in too deep, pick up a collection, please, if you do that, don't do it on credit. Use cash, use balance that you've accumulated or trade for it. Don't put it on a credit card and hope that you can sell it or something like that. But when you start with what you have, it allows you to build processes as you go. And what I mean by that is, how are you going to store your inventory? Are you just going to alphabetize it? Are you going to condition grade it and then alphabetize by condition? Are you going to list first by set or first by game? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to store it? Where are you going to store it? Because ultimately, time is money with things like that. And if it's taking you a long time, taking you 10, 15 minutes just to, to flip through so many cards to find a 50-cent card to sell, that's not the best use of your time, quite honestly. You could be doing other things if money is your ultimate objective. That's not the best use of your time trading for money. But starting with what you have, you generally, I'm guessing, already have a place that you're storing this. Run out to Walmart, run out anywhere, Target, pick up a set of index cards. That's what I would recommend. You can very easily use those index cards as additional dividers. Label them A through Z, label them for condition, label them for set. You could very quickly and rudimentarily put together a simple storage sorting process for what you already have on hand. It's not going to be crazy, it's not going to look beautiful, but it will be efficient. I can promise you, because it's what I did when I was just starting, and it works. And it allows you to fulfill orders at a reasonable time in a way that's convenient and beneficial to you, and get high quality product of yours out to other people. And for those who've stuck around with me this long in the video, I did kind of save the most important piece for last. What I mean by that is, not only are you building your processes, you're, deciding if it's something that's right for you, you're allowing yourself to pick up some supplies, slowly over time. As you need more sleeves, then you can pick up more sleeves. What the most important thing is for yourself and for buyers is that this allows you to build feedback organically. You're going to have positive interactions with buyers. You're going to be able to fulfill those orders, and I mean it. Really have those positive interactions. Really put forth the extra effort right on the packing slip. Thanks for your purchase. Throw in an extra code card or something little, just to really help. Those are free or basically free things that you can do to help solidify that positive buyer experience and earn you that 5-star review. That is the coveted thing. You need to, basically just not have a negative review come in, not have a buyer that's upset. Because if you're just getting started, you have no reputation to stand on. You have no authority, no clout, no past record of positive business transactions. That's why getting started in this manner, in a way that is arguably slowly by design, it allows you to build up good feedback. Work up to level 4 on TCG Player. Work up to some more positive feedback badges on eBay. Work up to additional positive feedback received in some of the local Facebook or other reputation type groups. This process of building up feedback is something that is so second nature to people in today's buy and sell online world. If you see a seller trying to sell something with no feedback or two feedback, you're going to be skeptical. You're rightfully going to be skeptical. And that's why probably your first few cards are going to be sold, I would say, under market. All the better that you're starting with a little bit lower table stakes, a little bit lower dollar value cards. I'm not saying that you have to, give things away, but if you're selling a bulky X and the market price is 79 cents, maybe you come in at 59, or maybe you come in at 65, something to incentivize people at least a little bit to take a little bit of risk with you. Again, maybe this works at scale too. It's a $5 card, you're gonna list for $4.50. That's maybe enough of a difference to people. What's the worst that could happen? They contact TCG Player customer service who stands by buyers. There is generally lower incentive. But if you're expecting that you're going to be able to pick up and source thousands of cards of bulk and list and move, or a multi-thousand-dollar collection that you're gonna jump in hot and get this sold, you're not going to have any feedback. There's no real reason, I'm sorry, I'm sure you're a wonderful person, but there's no real reason for a potential buyer to trust you as a seller over somebody else that has tens or hundreds of thousands of positive feedback. Much more likely to have a consistent, successful, reliable transaction there versus your shop. Again, no offense. But the best way to combat that is by starting, as I'm saying here, starting slow, starting with what you have and what you know, and building up, building that positive feedback over time, and allowing yourself to get a better foundation under you so that you have some reputation to stand on. You have an ability, it's almost like marketing in a sense, really, is that people are going to be scrolling through, they see your card, then they see that you have no feedback, they're not going to be incentivized to buy from you. So thank you for coming along with me today and kind of allowing me to walk through a little bit of, again, how I got started, how I started listing things, and I really think that that is good advice for anybody in a similar situation, especially if you're like me, you have a day job, maybe even a side hustle already, and this is just something that you're trying to do for a someday goal. If you think maybe someday, or you think maybe this would be fun to try, in my opinion, it is. I get satisfaction out of doing it. I enjoy listing and selling and fulfilling orders and seeing those envelopes go out in the mail, knowing I'm helping to complete other people's collections and they're helping to fuel my business. And it's a very positive experience, but it needs to be from a place of organic growth. It needs to be in a way that helps you develop your own processes over time and build up feedback that allows other people, potential buyers, to have trust in you, trust in your store and your process. Thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm happy to continue to share other Pokemon or other TCG business type content with you, investing content. We're a small, growing YouTube channel. I would love to see some positive interaction with this video. Please drop a like, subscribe if you want to see any more content like this. If you don't, that's fine. It's not for you. But if you're looking to see something else in particular, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what that is. Is there something that you feel is not being covered with today's Pokemon Business YouTube content? I feel there are some gaps, and I'm happy to add value, but I certainly want to provide value to people for what they're looking for. So let me know what that is, please. I'd be happy to fulfill it. Thanks so much once again. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.